The night stretched endlessly, a dense, velvety shadow that pressed against the world with silent authority. Capricorn, you have always known the weight of endurance, the quiet burden of patience, and the invisible strength that no one else notices. You have climbed mountains alone, crossed valleys that offered no applause, and stood beneath storms that left nothing but shadows in their wake. And yet within the darkness, there is a pulse, subtle but undeniable, a rhythm that echoes the movement of destiny itself. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close, because what stirs now has been preparing for decades, unseen but precise. The air itself vibrates differently around you, carrying hints of unseen alignments and subtle nudges that your intuition has long recognized but not fully understood. Consider Joseph in Egypt, sold into slavery, imprisoned, and cast aside, yet every trial orchestrated by unseen hands led to a throne he could not have imagined from the shadows of his past. Your own journey mirrors this unseen choreography. Every small sacrifice, every unnoticed act of diligence, every quiet moment of preparation has been a thread woven into a tapestry that only now begins to reveal its pattern. Follow this message if it's pulling at you, for the currents of destiny are arranging themselves to meet you at a threshold unseen by ordinary eyes. A man once toiled in obscurity, his dreams dismissed by those around him, his ambitions buried under ridicule and scarcity. Each day he labored alone, drafting inventions, refining ideas, and cataloging possibilities in a small, worn notebook. Years passed without recognition, and the world saw only failure. Yet one night, as the shadows of his small workshop deepened, a key appeared, a simple, unassuming object, unnoticed in the clutter. That key unlocked a cabinet containing the very components that would birth an invention so transformative it shifted the trajectory of his life entirely. Capricorn, your keys, your doors, your mountains, your shadows, they are all preparing the moment your unseen labor will manifest. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. The storms that have battered your life were never random. Each wind, each rain, each lightning strike was a sculptor shaping the contours of your endurance, carving resilience into your spirit and sharpening your perception. Look to Thomas Edison, who faced endless failed experiments, financial collapse, and public scorn, yet each failure was a note in the symphony of eventual triumph. Your trials, Capricorn, have been similarly orchestrated, preparing you to recognize and seize the sudden elevation that now stirs just beyond your sight. The shadows you have navigated were not enemies, they were guides, aligning circumstance and spirit for your arrival at destiny. Even ordinary moments carry extraordinary signals. A conversation, a passing glance, a repeated number, a flicker of light through a window, these are the breadcrumbs leading toward opportunity. Oprah Winfrey, once overlooked and dismissed, noticed subtle patterns and nudges that guided her decisions toward fortune and influence. What appears as coincidence is often a precise alignment, and you, Capricorn, are beginning to see the threads connecting your unseen effort to the approaching breakthrough. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close, because the markers you encounter now are more potent than they appear. The mountains before you have shifted imperceptibly. Paths once hidden are now glimpsed, carved subtly into the terrain by forces beyond human comprehension. Doors that seemed permanently locked are beginning to respond to subtle touches. Keys that seemed irrelevant are beginning to hum with purpose. Consider a celebrity who spent decades performing in obscurity, only to stumble upon a hidden mentor and opportunity that launched them into prominence and wealth. Your environment is now sending similar signals, Capricorn. Your unseen preparations are converging toward a breakthrough that will redefine your legacy. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. Shadows themselves bend differently now, hinting at doors previously unnoticed, keys previously overlooked. A man once found a forgotten key inside an old tool, unlocking a cabinet that held materials for his most successful creation. The pattern repeats across history. Joseph, Edison, Oprah, those who endure observe and recognize the signs step into fortune seemingly overnight. Capricorn, your shadows and keys are aligning, preparing the threshold of wealth that you have labored for in silence. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Pressure intensifies, subtle but undeniable. You feel it as tension in your chest, a tightening in your chest, a whisper of anticipation across your nerves. One woman, struggling in silence, recalled feeling a similar pressure for months before an inheritance arrived, life-altering and unexpected. The pressure is not punishment, it is the herald of arrival, the vibration that precedes manifestation. Your unseen labor and quiet endurance are converging with this energy now, signaling that the moment of transformative elevation is near. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. Every ordinary detail is now charged with significance. Shadows stretch to reveal subtle pathways. Keys respond to awareness. Mountains tremble in recognition of readiness. Historical and biblical figures all experienced this alignment before sudden elevation, unseen preparation converging with opportunity, patience intersecting with timing, faith meeting action. One Capricorn discovered a neglected asset, unrecognized for decades, which became the foundation for life-altering wealth. The same subtle forces are at work in your life, Capricorn, guiding you toward your breakthrough. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. The currents of destiny accelerate. Doors tremble, keys glow faintly, shadows bend toward recognition. Every small, unnoticed effort now forms the scaffold of sudden wealth. A man, obscure for years, discovered a forgotten contract that transformed his financial reality in months. The threads you have been weaving in silence now converge with circumstances that are equally poised for revelation. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. Even storms now move in your favor. Winds clear the obstacles, rains cleanse the path, lightning illuminates unseen doors. Joseph's journey in Egypt illustrates this pattern perfectly. Slavery, invisibility, and imprisonment preceded sudden wealth and power. Your trials, Capricorn, have been calibrated with the same precision, and the first signs of manifestation are now visible through subtle environmental shifts. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Emotional signals rise as the breakthrough approaches. Surges of clarity, waves of anticipation, sudden joy, and unexplained tension mark the moments before manifestation. Visionaries, innovators, and persistent leaders have all felt this pattern, a herald of elevation that the unprepared cannot recognize. Capricorn, your spirit is attuned to these currents, ready to seize the sudden wealth long prepared. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. The alignment of circumstances becomes unmistakable. Coincidences multiply, shadows retreat, keys respond, and mountains reveal hidden paths. One Capricorn artist discovered a hidden studio, a space that launched a career of global recognition. Your story mirrors this: patience, persistence, and unseen labor converging into sudden, transformative wealth. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. The orchestration of destiny reaches its crescendo. Every challenge, every delay, every subtle signal was calibrated for this moment. Historical innovators, leaders, and entrepreneurs all endured hardship before sudden elevation. Capricorn, the unseen forces arranging your life are preparing to deliver a wealth that will redefine your family legacy. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. The first tangible thread of wealth reaches toward you, brushing your awareness with potent energy. Keys pulse, doors tremble, shadows pause, mountains quiver as the alignment unfolds. Real-life Capricorns, biblical figures, and historical visionaries all describe this exact moment, the cusp of sudden, life-altering elevation. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. In the stillness, when the world seems suspended, the first shimmer of fortune touches you. The key long ignored glows faintly, the door long locked stirs imperceptibly, and a sliver of light pours through, brilliant and impossible to ignore. Mountains tremble, shadows bow, and winds hold their breath. You are poised at the threshold of revelation, the culmination of decades of preparation, patience, and quiet endurance, suspended at the edge of life-altering transformation, awaiting the full manifestation. The wind had a different weight that day, heavier than usual, thick with anticipation, and the quiet hum of unseen forces at work. Capricorn, you have walked through valleys that seemed endless, scaled mountains whose peaks were swallowed by clouds, and navigated shadows that whispered doubts into your soul. And yet, even within that darkness, there has always been a pulse, a subtle rhythm that guides, unseen yet undeniable. It is the cadence of destiny aligning, the silent architecture of opportunity preparing to reveal itself. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close, because what stirs now is not random, it has been orchestrated for decades. Every corner of your life has been touched by invisible hands, arranging circumstances, planting signs, and testing your perception. You may have noticed them as fleeting moments, a number that appears repeatedly, a door that seems to beckon without reason, a stranger whose words linger long after they have gone. These are not coincidences. They are markers, signals that the universe is preparing you for a shift so profound that it will alter the trajectory of your family line. Consider the story of Joseph in Egypt, whose life of trials, from betrayal by his brothers to imprisonment, was a masterclass in preparation for sudden elevation. Your own trials, Capricorn, are following a similar pattern, each obstacle a step toward a revelation long delayed but precisely timed. Follow this message if it's pulling at you, because these moments will soon converge into a breakthrough that defies ordinary understanding. A woman, a Capricorn much like you, spent years in obscurity, laboring tirelessly to create a small line of handmade goods. Each day her work went unnoticed, her efforts dismissed by those closest to her. She persisted, guided by intuition, often sensing that unseen forces were laying the groundwork for her eventual success. One evening, she discovered a forgotten ledger tucked behind a shelf, containing the contact information of a client who had long admired her work in secret. That single discovery became the catalyst for a fortune that transformed her life and the lives of those who came after her. Capricorn, your ledger, your hidden keys, your mountains and shadows, they are preparing the moment your own labor will manifest. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. The storms of your past were never meaningless. Each gust that knocked you off balance, each rain that blurred your vision, every flash of lightning that exposed your deepest fears, they were not punishments, but instruments of preparation. Thomas Edison's countless failed experiments and years of ridicule were the forge in which his monumental success was tempered. Each failure was essential, each delay necessary. Your hardships have served the same purpose, sharpening your discernment, strengthening your patience, and molding your spirit for the sudden fortune that approaches. The shadows you have endured were not your enemies, they were guides, shaping the contours of opportunity and readiness. Even the most mundane moments now carry extraordinary significance. A casual glance at a passing billboard, a phrase overheard in a cafe, a number that repeats in your daily life, all are subtle markers pointing toward your elevation. Oprah Winfrey noticed these alignments long before she became a household name, and what appeared as chance was in truth a precise orchestration of unseen forces. Capricorn, your environment is now echoing with these signals. They are the silent pulse of impending transformation, the whispers that accompany the turning of the key, the trembling of a door long sealed. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close, because the moment of revelation is nearer than you realize. Mountains that once seemed insurmountable are now showing hidden trails, pathways carved subtly for those who have the patience to observe. Doors that were immovable now respond to awareness, keys that seemed irrelevant resonate with purpose, and shadows bend toward recognition. Consider the story of a Capricorn entrepreneur, ignored by industry giants for decades, who stumbled upon a hidden market niche that catapulted him into wealth and influence. Your preparation mirrors this pattern. Persistence, discipline, and silent endurance are converging with opportunity, forming a threshold that will soon open. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. Shadows themselves now carry messages. A room you passed countless times without notice begins to pulse with quiet energy. A key you overlooked glows faintly in your hand, hinting at the unlocking of doors that have remained closed for years. One inventor, after years of obscurity, dreamed of a hidden chamber in his studio, only to discover months later that it contained materials essential to his most profitable creation. Capricorn, your subconscious is aligning with reality, guiding you toward revelation. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. The pressure within you rises, subtle yet unmistakable, a tightening that signals the presence of forces converging. A Capricorn woman felt this tension months before a sudden inheritance arrived, transforming her life beyond her imagination. The pressure is not a warning but a herald, the vibration that precedes manifestation. Your unseen labor, patience, and intuition are converging with this energy, signaling that your moment of sudden wealth is approaching. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. ordinary details now appear charged with extraordinary meaning. Shadows shift to reveal paths, keys respond to the slightest attention, mountains seem to rearrange themselves for your passage. Historical figures, biblical prophets, and visionary entrepreneurs have all experienced this precise alignment before life-altering elevation. One Capricorn discovered a neglected opportunity that became the foundation of her family's fortune, a chance hidden in plain sight for decades. The same energies are aligning in your life now. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. The currents of your destiny are accelerating. Doors tremble, keys hum faintly, shadows retreat, mountains seem aware of your approach. Every small, unnoticed effort is converging with the forces of opportunity. A Capricorn man, overlooked and dismissed for years, discovered a forgotten contract that completely transformed his financial reality. The threads of your silent perseverance are now woven into the fabric of imminent wealth. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Storms have become allies. Winds now clear obstacles, rains wash away barriers, lightning illuminates the paths previously obscured. Joseph's journey in Egypt exemplifies this pattern, decades of hardship preceding sudden wealth and influence. Your own trials, Capricorn, have been calibrated for a precise moment, and the signs of manifestation are now visible in subtle environmental shifts. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. Emotional signals rise as the breakthrough approaches. Sudden clarity, waves of anticipation, inexplicable joy, and tension mark the moments just before manifestation. Visionaries, leaders, and innovators have all reported this exact pattern, a herald of wealth that the unprepared cannot perceive. Capricorn, your spirit is attuned to these currents, ready to claim the sudden fortune that has been decades in preparation. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. The alignment of circumstances becomes undeniable. Repeated coincidences, responsive shadows, resonating keys, and shifting mountains signal that a hidden threshold is near. One Capricorn artist, ignored for years, stumbled upon a hidden studio that launched a career of global recognition. Your life mirrors this pattern, patience, discipline, and unseen labor converging into transformative wealth. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Destiny reaches a quiet crescendo. Every delay, every obstacle, every subtle sign has been calibrated for this moment. Historical innovators, entrepreneurs, and biblical figures all endured hardship before sudden elevation. Capricorn, unseen forces are orchestrating your life, preparing to deliver wealth that will redefine your family legacy. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. The first tangible threads of fortune brush against your awareness. Keys pulse, doors tremble, shadows bow, mountains quiver. Real-life Capricorns, prophets, and visionaries have described this exact moment, the threshold of life-altering wealth. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. In the stillness, when everything seems paused, the first shimmer of your fortune touches you. The key long ignored glows faintly, the door long sealed stirs imperceptibly, and a piercing light escapes through the gap, delicate but undeniable. Mountains tremble, shadows bow, winds hold their breath, and you are suspended at the precipice of revelation, the culmination of decades of labor, patience, and quiet endurance. The magnitude of what is about to unfold hangs in the air, poised to transform everything. The air hung heavy with an electric tension, a quiet hum vibrating through the walls of existence, felt only by those attuned to the unseen currents. Capricorn, your journey has always been marked by silent endurance, by the patient accumulation of unseen effort, by carrying burdens the world never acknowledged. And now, in the stillness between breaths, the unseen begins to stir. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close, for the subtle shifts around you are the prelude to a transformation long in the making, one that will ripple through every shadow you have walked through. Every mountain you climbed, every storm you endured, every shadow you crossed was not in vain. These were not random obstacles, but instruments shaping your perception, patience, and discernment. Thomas Edison, after thousands of failed experiments, finally saw the filament glow with life, illuminating a world that once doubted him. Each failure, each setback, each darkened hour was a preparation for sudden elevation. Your own trials, Capricorn, have been meticulously orchestrated, getting you to recognize the doorway that has now begun to shimmer in the periphery of your reality. Follow this message if it's pulling at you, because the threshold is near. There was a man, a Capricorn like you, who spent years in obscurity, crafting small, intricate inventions in a dusty workshop that no one visited. The world overlooked him, mocked him, and offered no validation. Yet in the quiet corners of his life, a key appeared, tucked behind a shelf, unnoticed for years. That key unlocked a hidden cabinet containing components that would change everything. Within weeks, his creation became a fortune, a shift so sudden it could not have been predicted by any ordinary calculation. Your own hidden keys, Capricorn, your unseen efforts and quiet vigilance are converging toward a moment of similar revelation. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. Storms that have battered you were never without purpose. Each gust of wind, each sudden downpour, each crack of lightning has been sculpting resilience into your soul and clarity into your vision. Biblical Joseph, cast into a pit, sold into slavery, imprisoned for crimes he did not commit, was shaped by these very storms to eventually rise above Pharaoh's court. Your own life has mirrored this in invisible ways. Every trial was a silent shaping of your capacity to receive what now edges closer to you, its presence almost palpable in the currents of your awareness. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. Even the smallest details now carry weight beyond comprehension. A number repeated across your days, a shadow that stretches longer than it should, a door that seems to respond to intention, all are signals. Oprah Winfrey recognized similar alignments in her life. Noticing patterns and coincidences others dismissed as trivial, which guided her to seize unprecedented opportunity. Your intuition, Capricorn, is your compass. The hidden forces arranging your life now communicate in subtle yet unmistakable ways, preparing the path for wealth and influence that will leave an indelible mark on your family legacy. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Mountains begin to shift beneath your gaze, revealing pathways previously hidden, carved in ways only the observant can perceive. Locked doors respond to gentle nudges, keys that were once irrelevant now resonate with purpose, and shadows bow to reveal spaces of opportunity. A Capricorn entrepreneur, ignored by the world for decades, discovered a small niche, previously unnoticed, which catapulted him into prominence and fortune. Your patience and unseen labor mirror this pattern, positioning you to seize a breakthrough that has been quietly approaching. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. Shadows themselves now carry guidance. Rooms long ignored pulse with subtle energy, keys emit faint vibrations, and doors shift imperceptibly. A man, overlooked for years, dreamed of a hidden chamber, only to later discover that it contained materials essential to a breakthrough invention that changed his life. Capricorn, your intuition and perception are now aligned with reality, guiding you toward revelation and fortune. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Pressure within you rises, subtle yet profound, felt as tension coiling through your chest and spine. A Capricorn woman experienced this same rising force months before a sudden inheritance transformed her life entirely. Pressure is not punishment, it is the herald of arrival, the vibration that signals the imminent manifestation of what you have long labored for in silence. Your patience, your endurance, and your vigilance converge with these energies now, marking the cusp of transformative elevation. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. Ordinary spaces have become charged with meaning. Shadows retreat, revealing hidden trails, keys respond to intention, mountains bend in awareness of your arrival. Historical figures, biblical prophets, and visionary entrepreneurs have all experienced this alignment before sudden elevation. A Capricorn discovered a neglected investment, dormant for decades, which became the foundation of a family fortune. The same energies are now converging in your life, signaling a threshold you are about to cross. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. Currents of destiny accelerate as unseen forces converge. Doors tremble, keys hum faintly, shadows recede, and mountains quiver with recognition. Every effort you have made in silence now forms the scaffold for sudden wealth. One Capricorn, unrecognized and dismissed for years, discovered a forgotten contract that transformed his financial reality almost overnight. The threads of your unseen labor are now woven into the framework of life-altering fortune. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Storms now move with you, winds clearing obstacles, rains washing away barriers, lightning illuminating previously hidden doors. Joseph's trajectory in Egypt mirrors this, Years of hardship and invisibility preceding sudden wealth and influence. Your own trials, Capricorn, have been measured, calibrated, and orchestrated for a precise moment now nearing. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. Emotions swell as the breakthrough nears. Waves of anticipation, sudden clarity, inexplicable joy, and tension mark the edges of consciousness. Visionaries and innovators have all sensed this pattern, the heralding vibration before sudden elevation. Capricorn, your spirit is finally attuned to these currents, poised to receive the fortune that has been decades in preparation. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. Circumstances align with a quiet inevitability. Repeated coincidences, responsive shadows, resonating keys, and shifting mountains indicate that a hidden threshold is close. A Capricorn artist stumbled upon a long-forgotten studio, a space that propelled them to global recognition and wealth. Your life mirrors this orchestration. Patience, discipline, and silent labor converge into transformative opportunity. Follow this message if it's pulling at you. Destiny reaches a crescendo. Every delay, every trial, every subtle sign has been precise preparation. Innovators, biblical figures, and entrepreneurs endured hardship before sudden elevation. Capricorn, unseen forces orchestrate your life, preparing to deliver wealth that will redefine your family legacy. If your spirit feels this awakening, stay close. The first tangible threads of fortune brush against your awareness. Keys vibrate, doors shift, shadows bow, and mountains tremble. Real-life Capricorns, prophets, and visionaries have all described this precise moment, the threshold of life-altering wealth. Remain connected here, your path is shifting. In the silence that follows, when everything seems suspended, the first shimmer of your fortune grazes you. The key long ignored glows, the door long sealed stirs, and a shaft of light spills through, faint but undeniable. Mountains tremble, shadows bow, winds hold their breath, and you are suspended at the edge of revelation, the culmination of decades of unseen labor and quiet endurance. The magnitude of what approaches hangs just beyond sight, ready to unfold.